Once synonymous with danger and dread in the wild, snakes today are not only seen as life-restoring medicine for countless people, but also serve as a golden link in the global meat and luxury fashion industries, generating billions of dollars. So how do humans manage to farm, care for, and process millions of snakes every year? This mysterious journey begins in quiet, rural snake farms, where snakes are raised with closely guarded techniques and the practical experience of seasoned farmers. At the right time, they are harvested, transported, and brought to modern processing facilities, where their meat, skin, and venom become valuable raw materials for the world's most powerful industries. Today, join Agriculture Insight as we trace the mysterious path of snake farming and explain why they now stand at the center of the global economic picture. Right now, let's explore these most dangerous reptiles. With just 0.5 grams of king cobra venom, more than 100 adult humans can be killed. A snake that has instilled fear in both nature and humans for thousands of years. Despite this, surpassing agricultural powerhouses like the United States, Brazil, and India, China not only dominates the world in total agricultural output value, but has also become the global center for domestication of this creature into a profitable industry, with over 600 farms supplying around 80% of the increasingly sought-after commercial snake market. Surprisingly, this surging demand has sparked a frenzy in Australia, where around 3.5 million snakes are raised annually for their skins, serving the global luxury fashion industry worth an estimated $12 billion USD, with iconic brands like Hermes, Gucci, and Prada. What factors are fueling this booming global fascination for snake farming? Unlike conventional livestock such as beef, chicken, or pork, snake meat stands out with its uniquely delicate flavor, high protein content, low cholesterol, and is considered a premium delicacy in Asian culinary culture. Even more notably, snakes are used to make whole-body infused wines, a type of liquor believed to nourish health, boost vitality, and enhance sexual function for those suffering from sexual dysfunction. Alongside meat and skin, snake venom has become a highly valuable resource, with horse-derived serum enabling leading research centers in the United States, Brazil, Mexico, and Thailand to develop life-saving antivenoms that protect millions of lives. Hidden within the small village of Zixiqiao, renowned in Zhejiang Province, China, and famously known as the Snake Village, approximately 800 households have transformed traditional snake farming into a vast industry. Covering less than 20 square kilometers and housing over 3 million snakes annually, this place stands as a unique crossroads between ancient tradition and modern technology, revealing the astonishing processes of the global snake farming industry. Everything begins with the breeding process, where farmers select healthy individuals, pair them at optimal ratios, and release them into communal enclosures to initiate reproduction. A unique feature of snakes is that males possess two reproductive organs called hemipenes, located on the underside near the tail. During mating, the male alternates between these two hemipenes to engage the female's cloaca for durations ranging from 20 to 120 minutes. Far superior to humans, aren't they? After a successful mating process, the female snake enters a gestation period lasting from 1 to 2 months, depending on commonly farmed industrial species, such as king cobras, rat snakes, and cobras. This is an extremely sensitive and aggressive phase for the mother snake, requiring a quiet setting, stable temperature, and high humidity to ensure proper egg development. Each clutch of snakes typically contains between 10 and 40 eggs. Like pythons, snake eggs are oval and elongated with thin, soft, slightly rubbery shells that often stick together, distinctly different from crocodile eggs, which have hard and brittle shells. Due to their unique biological instincts, after laying eggs, mother snakes typically do not care for their eggs or offspring. Therefore, breeders must collect the eggs a few hours after laying to transfer them to artificial incubation if they want a healthy next generation. Harvesting eggs is not an easy task, as mother snakes can attack the handler at any time. For docile mothers who rarely react to human presence, breeders can use a small hook to gently scoop each egg from the nest onto a tray without needing to move the snake. However, for aggressive mother snakes or those with strong nest-guarding instincts, egg collection becomes more dangerous, requiring deep understanding of the species' behavior. The golden rule for success during this stage is to keep the mother snake feeling as safe and unthreatened as possible. Therefore, breeders must skillfully lure the female snake out of the enclosure with a hook before carefully collecting the eggs. Every action must be swift, precise, and gentle to ensure safety, prevent egg breakage, and minimize stress for the snake. Once the eggs are removed, the mother snake is returned to her enclosure to continue her life cycle, while the eggs are taken to a specialized incubation room for thorough inspection and care. The ideal temperature is maintained between 28 to 32 degrees Celsius, with humidity around 80 to 90%, creating optimal conditions for uniform embryo development. After approximately 50 to 70 days, the thin, soft shells begin to crack, revealing tiny newborns with their first calls. Immediately after hatching, baby snakes are moved to a separate care area. Interestingly, during the first few days, they do not need to eat, as they rely on the yolk sac remaining inside their bodies for nutrition. Now, the next task for the farmers is to satisfy the hunger of millions of ravenous snakes, each one a demanding eater with a diet unlike any other farm animal. After their first shed, usually occurring between 5 and 10 days, they begin their first feedings, typically on small prey such as pinky mice or finely ground feed. This stage is extremely sensitive, requiring breeders to closely monitor each individual to ensure the highest survival rate, which directly impacts the quality of future generations throughout all subsequent processes. For ravenous danger noodles that are weak or fussy eaters, breeders often isolate them for closer monitoring and use methods such as scenting the prey, offering live feed, or gently assisting with feeding to stimulate appetite and improve survival chances. When snakes grow bigger and stronger, usually between 1 to 2 months old after hatching, they are transferred to separate enclosures to facilitate care, management, and size-based classification. To raise a healthy and uniformly growing clutch of snakes that meet commercial standards, diet is the key factor. Compared to their vulnerable early stage, adult snakes require higher protein intake, larger prey sizes, and feeding cycles adjusted flexibly according to each individual's growth rate. Among their favorite foods, especially for king cobras, is quail. An adult king cobra can consume between 0.3 to 0.5 kilograms of quail meat daily, depending on its weight and health status. Breeders typically prepare live quail, remove feathers, and may add digestive enzymes to aid the snake's digestion. Providing clean, fresh feed in appropriate portions is the secret to faster growth and minimizing risks of digestive disorders or mass refusal to eat. The breeder divides the prey into small dishes and places them throughout the snake enclosure, simulating a natural environment to help the snakes easily access and stimulate their hunting instincts. This is also when the snakes can freely choose their preferred prey during their buffet-style feeding. Throughout the entire rearing process, Negligence when handling these cold-blooded reptiles can lead to serious consequences, even posing life-threatening dangers. After patiently waiting for about 12 to 18 months, it's time for the farmer to reap the rewards. The breeder goes to each enclosure, using specialized hooks or locking rings to quickly restrain the snakes, then gently places them into transport containers lined with fabric bags or mesh sacks to secure them. One thing you might find strange is that after harvesting, the snakes' mouths are often sewn shut with thread or specialized materials to prevent biting. Despite the high risks, this is a necessary job for many to make a living, and those performing it can be bitten multiple times a day if they lack extensive experience. Have you ever been bitten by a snake? Feel free to share your experience in the comments below. Finally, millions of snakes that meet quality standards are transported to specialty restaurants or processing facilities, moving closer to their final mission. First, we will explore the process of producing snake wine, one of the renowned specialties of the Guangxi region in China, as well as the mountainous areas of Vietnam and Thailand, with a commercial value reaching up to 10 million USD annually. The ingredients typically include whole snakes that have been thoroughly cleaned, or separate parts such as the head, gallbladder, and spine. The snakes are then placed into jars filled with rice wine at an alcohol concentration of around 40% to 50%, allowing the infusion process to extract medicinal compounds such as peptides, enzymes, amino acids, and bioactive proteins. According to traditional beliefs, soaking live snakes is thought to enhance the medicinal value of the wine due to the natural compounds released during the process. The special thing about snake wine is that the longer it is aged, the more valuable it becomes. After aging for about 3 to 5 years, its price can reach thousands of dollars per bottle. While scientific research has yet to fully confirm its effects, it is widely reputed for its ability to nourish health, boost vitality, and treat certain conditions such as sexual dysfunction, joint pain, and chronic fatigue. Besides that, snake meat is also extensively utilized by humans as a high-protein, low-fat food ingredient and has long been featured in traditional medicine. The processing begins with basic steps, removing the skin and internal organs, retaining the firm, white, tender, and low-fat meat. Then, the meat is cut into chunks or thin slices depending on the intended use or market requirements. But the value of snakes doesn't stop there. Snake skin is a crucial component that generates significant profits, thanks to its uniqueness, rarity, and steady demand in the luxury fashion market. The first step in the snake skin processing is to anesthetize or immobilize the snake, after which workers carefully peel off the skin entirely by hand. This process demands patience, precision, and steady hand pressure. Just one slip can tear the skin, cause scale loss, or damage the pattern, which are critical factors in determining the final product's value. After being thoroughly cleaned of blood and mucus, the skin is salted for about 12 to 24 hours to preserve it and prepare it for the tanning process. Following tanning, the snake skin is stretched onto frames to flatten and shape it properly, ensuring a smooth surface for further processing. Next, snake skins are taken out of the conditioning oil baths and carefully spread on glass panels or flat tables. Skilled artisans use rubber squeegees to evenly distribute the oil, remove air bubbles, and press the oil deep into the fibers. Then the skins rest for 6 to 12 hours to allow full absorption and surface stabilization before final finishing. Delving further into the core of the process, after dyeing, Skilled artisans employ high-speed polishing wheels, spinning between 1,500 and 3,000 RPM, to carefully buff the surface of the snakeskin, accentuating the distinct scale patterns and producing a natural shine. Following polishing, the snakeskins move through an automated spraying system that applies a uniform protective layer, enhancing gloss, locking in color stability, and safeguarding the surface, readying the skins for final inspection and export. It's no coincidence that fashion houses like Gucci, Hermes, and Versace favor this material. Snakeskin is not only lightweight, durable, and flexible, but also features unique patterns, each piece a natural fingerprint that cannot be duplicated, making it ideal for handcrafted luxury products valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is not the end of the value chain. Venom extraction, the most valuable product from snakes, has transformed a once deadly substance into a vital component of life-saving medicines and advanced medical therapies. The process begins with a seemingly simple yet inherently dangerous step: milking the snake for venom. Each snake selected for milking must meet strict criteria. It must not be shedding, not stressed, and fully recovered from the previous milking. Technicians use specialized tools to clamp the snake's head, then gently press its neck down on a table for control. As a defensive reflex, the snake bites through the rubber membrane, causing venom to drip into the vial. This clear liquid, sometimes with a golden or pale green tint, is the raw material for the billion-dollar anti-venom industry. Although only about 10 to 30 milligrams of venom is collected per session, just 5 milligrams of cobra venom can be fatal to an adult if not treated promptly. Immediately after collection, the venom is rapidly frozen or lyophilized to preserve its biological activity, as the enzymes in venom are extremely sensitive to temperature and light. Any slight mishandling can render the entire batch worthless. After collection, the venom is diluted and injected in increasing doses into large animals, such as horses, to stimulate the immune system to produce specific antibodies against the toxins. This process lasts from several weeks to months, with each injection carefully monitored to ensure the horse is not overwhelmed by the toxin. Once the antibody levels in the blood reach the required threshold, the horse's blood is drawn and centrifuged to separate the serum. The antibody-containing serum is then filtered, purified, and tested before being packaged in liquid or lyophilized form. The final product is anti-venom, the only biological preparation capable of neutralizing toxins in humans severely bitten by snakes. The entire production process requires high precision, strict sterile conditions, and is overseen by pharmaceutical facilities or specialized toxin research centers. Each vial of antivenom is the result of months of careful cultivation, testing, and storage, all starting from a single drop of venom. Each year, as many as 137,000 people lose their lives to snake bites, a heartbreaking figure that highlights the severe lack of access to antivenom treatment. Yet only 10 to 20% of victims receive timely medical care, as the cost of each vial can reach thousands of dollars, far beyond the means of most people. The question is not only how to produce more antivenom, but how to ensure this life-saving treatment reaches everyone, regardless of wealth, so that every drop of antivenom is not a luxury commodity, but a real chance for survival for thousands who are waiting. There's a strange truth about the pufferfish. Most of its body is water. When threatened, it quickly gulps seawater into its belly, swelling up to 2 or 3 times its size, like a living balloon drifting through the ocean. But its defense is not just about appearance. Inside, the pufferfish accumulates a neurotoxin that's thousands of times more potent than cyanide, absorbed through its natural food chain. It's a bizarre and dangerous sphere, enough to make any predator think twice. Under human hands, however, the pufferfish enters a different story. It becomes a dish that symbolizes both refinement and risk. Just one wrong slice of the knife and a fine meal can turn into tragedy. Yet in Japan, people still eat pufferfish as a way to test their own limits. Every year, over 10,000 tons are consumed, served in sashimi slices so thin they're almost transparent, a moment where taste and nerve face an invisible challenge. Out in the wild, the pufferfish plays a completely different role. Pods of dolphins don't hunt pufferfish for survival, they do it for pleasure. They pass the fish around, carefully provoking it to puff up and release just enough tetrodotoxin to trigger a light, trance-like high. For dolphins, it's like a little recreational game in the middle of the vast ocean. Among hundreds of fish species in the ocean, only the pufferfish makes fishermen both crave and fear. Tuna demands speed. Mackerel can be caught by simply surrounding them with nets. But catching pufferfish is like playing with knives on the ship's deck amid storms and biting cold. The hunt begins with the most important element, bait. But not just any bait will do. Fishermen must use mackerel they catch themselves, carefully cleaned, cut into neat small squares, and salted to preserve freshness. Because if the mackerel's oil spoils, the pufferfish will turn away. One day's preparation can include up to 20,000 bait pieces, packed into 250 cold boxes, just to feed a single fishing line stretching 48 kilometers, with over 20,000 surgical sharp steel hooks. Once the bait is ready, the lines are cast into the sea. Tens of thousands of hooks sinking like an invisible net beneath the waves. But the risks start here. A strong wind can shift the lines, or a lost marker buoy can mean losing hundreds of hooks, worth thousands of dollars, swept away by the sea. Many fishermen have gone bankrupt because of a sudden storm. So why do they still risk fishing pufferfish? Simply because, if lucky, a single season can change their lives. Pufferfish meat is one of the most luxurious dishes, hunted in high-end restaurants in Japan and Korea. Its flesh is sweet, tender, and snowy white, but one wrong cut can expose deadly toxic organs. Fishing for pufferfish is not just a job, it's a gamble with the ocean, where the line between failure and fortune is just one pull away. As soon as the pufferfish is hauled aboard, everything switches to emergency mode. The fish is processed and frozen immediately on the boat at -40 degrees Celsius, because even a delay of a few hours can cause the meat to discolor, lose freshness, and plummet in value. Each fish is carefully packed into 10-kilogram boxes, layered in the freezer compartment like artificial ice amidst the ocean. For the fishermen, the freezer hold is a floating safe. The vault, safeguarding the hard-earned rewards of days spent gambling their lives with the deep sea. Alongside wild harvesting, Japan has developed a closed-system pufferfish farming industry to ensure a sustainable supply. This is an exceptionally sensitive sector. Only licensed farms are permitted to raise pufferfish because these fish are not just food, but creatures carrying dangerous toxins. The process begins with one of the most critical steps: artificial fertilization. During breeding season, farmers gently stroke the fish's belly to collect eggs and sperm, a task that seems simple but is actually an art, as even a slight mistake can shock and kill the fish instantly. Fertilized eggs are transferred into separate incubation tanks, where water temperature and cleanliness are tightly controlled every hour. In colder water, eggs take up to a week to develop. In warmer water, only 3 to 4 days. But the risk of fry mortality rises exponentially. The entire process is kept as closely guarded as a national secret, because in the world of pufferfish, whoever holds the breeding formula holds the key to a billion-dollar industry. Raising pufferfish isn't just fish farming, it's a high-stakes mental game with one of the ocean's most sensitive creatures. Feeding them isn't as simple as tossing food into the water. It's a precise ritual demanding absolute accuracy. Unlike tilapia or sea bass, species that'll eat just about anything tossed into their tanks, pufferfish are incredibly picky eaters. Their diet resembles a gourmet meal. Fresh mackerel cut into small pieces, lightly prepared live shrimp, and sometimes high-protein formulated feed, all measured to the exact gram. At certain stages, pufferfish even consume small goldfish, live shrimp, or marine worms, delicacies specially chosen to stimulate their natural hunting instincts. Young pufferfish are raised indoors in closed environments. As they grow, they're transferred to outdoor tanks or sea cages where they swim freely, but under strict supervision. The difference lies in how close they are to nature, but wherever they are, farmers must engage in a chess match of wits with one of the ocean's deadliest fish. One of the strangest and most shocking steps in pufferfish farming is tooth trimming. This fish is dangerous not only because of its toxin, but also because of its razor-sharp teeth, sharp enough to bite through nets, destroy plastic tanks, or even attack each other. If left unchecked, a pufferfish group can turn a farming area into a battlefield overnight. Therefore, when the fish are still small, farmers perform a procedure that sounds like science fiction, catching the fish and using specialized pliers to carefully trim their front teeth. This is a painstaking task requiring millimeter precision. Pufferfish are extremely sensitive to stress. One shaky hand or slip-up can shock the fish, causing it to inflate and die on the spot. This isn't just tooth trimming, it's cutting away a piece of the fish's wild nature, transforming a creature known as a biological bomb into a luxury delicacy. After about 18 to 24 months of nurturing, the pufferfish reaches market size, typically measuring 30 to 40 centimeters in length and weighing between 1 to 1.5 kilograms. At this stage, its smooth, shiny skin, creamy white belly, and distinctive bulging eyes signal that it's ready for harvest. To catch the fish, ordinary nets are not used. Instead, specialized soft nets with round mouths and rubber edges are employed to prevent damaging the fish's skin. Each fish is carefully scooped up with utmost care taken to avoid causing stress or allowing the fish to inflate during harvest, because a single strong impact can trigger its defense mechanism, causing it to puff up and making handling much more difficult. After being carefully scooped up, the pufferfish are brought ashore for sorting, according to very strict standards. Fish measuring around 40 centimeters in length, weighing between 1 to 1.5 kilograms, and in perfect health, are carefully selected. These premium specimens are often put up for public auction at very high prices. Exceptional quality pufferfish can sell for thousands of dollars per fish, especially larger, healthier individuals with clear provenance. Typically, high-end restaurants or reputable distributors purchase these fish directly to ensure fresh, safe ingredients for serving exquisite and costly sashimi or fugu dishes. In Japan, pufferfish preparation is a highly regulated field, and only those holding a fugu license, a nationally certified qualification specifically for handling pufferfish, are permitted to perform it. To obtain this license, chefs must undergo years of training and pass an extremely rigorous examination that includes practical tests on filleting techniques, identifying toxic organs, and ensuring safe handling. Before entering the delicate preparation stage, where a single wrong cut could be fatal, many Japanese chefs follow a ritual that may sound unusual, feeding the pufferfish carrots and chili peppers. Carrots serve not just as food, but as a key cleanser for the fish's digestive system, helping to flush out impurities from the intestines and minimize risks during dissection. Chili peppers act as a natural anesthetic, calming the fish and preventing it from puffing up. a reflex that could turn the entire process into a disaster. And now, let's explore the pufferfish preparation process, a deadly delicacy sought after worldwide, where approximately 70% of its body contains toxins carefully controlled to turn a lethal threat into a perfectly safe gourmet dish. The process begins with a gentle incision on the fish's head, a crucial step that helps to paralyze the fish, reduce stress, and prevent it from inflating suddenly during handling. The craftsman continues by carefully removing all the sharp fins. However, instead of being discarded, these fins are often preserved to be used as decorative elements or incorporated into traditional Japanese dishes like tsukudani, a savory, flavorful dish served with rice, making full use of every part of this unique fish. Immediately after, the mouth is carefully removed because the fish's salivary glands also contain toxins. This step also reduces the risk of injury during processing and prevents the fish from biting, ensuring the safety of the handler. Next, the craftsman skillfully removes the fish's skin with swift and precise movements to preserve the meat underneath. Since the skin also contains potent toxins, careful removal is essential to ensure absolute safety. A seemingly simple fish, yet hidden inside are 4 deadly toxin-containing areas: the liver, ovaries, intestines, and skin. Even a small piece of these organs contaminating the meat can turn the dish into poison. Therefore, the pufferfish preparation process is carried out almost like microsurgery, where every cut must be absolutely precise. Importantly, pufferfish internal organs are not discarded as ordinary waste. They must be collected, sealed as high-level hazardous material, and disposed of according to strict procedures. Every year, Shimonoseki processes over 3,000 tons of pufferfish, generating hundreds of millions of dollars for the luxury food industry. This is not just a dish, it represents the delicate boundary between culinary excellence and life-threatening risk. Behind each paper-thin slice of sashimi, nearly translucent, lies a complex chain of steps where mistakes are almost impossible to afford. Pufferfish meat doesn't explode on the palate like Wagyu beef or offer the rich fattiness of salmon. Instead, it carries a different kind of delicacy, chewy, crisp, and refreshingly light, leaving a cool, clean finish on the tongue, as if you're tasting a slice of the ocean freshly cut at dawn. In high-end fugu restaurants in Japan, sashimi is often arranged in the shape of a chrysanthemum, a symbol of purity and a subtle reminder of the thin line between life and death. The slices are so thin they're almost transparent, shimmering on the plate like petals kissed by morning dew. Eating a piece of pufferfish sashimi isn't just a taste experience. It's a testament to the chef's absolute precision, because one misplaced cut could turn the meal into a matter of fate. You might not know this, but in the wild, porcupines are among the few small animals capable of making top predators. Like leopards or lions, think twice. Armed with a natural armor of needle-sharp quills, they make any would-be attacker pay a painful price. Each quill is a living weapon, hollow, lightweight, yet sharp like a miniature spear. Tiny barbs along its shaft make it easy to penetrate flesh, but extremely hard to pull out. When threatened, a porcupine doesn't run. It raises its quills, turns its back, and strikes in reverse, driving the spines deep into the predator's skin. Conservation groups have even documented leopards and lions with quills stuck in their faces, legs, and bellies, some eventually dying from infections caused by what seemed like minor wounds. Today, humans have domesticated this prickly creature, transforming it from a walking fortress into a high-value food source. Vietnam currently leads the world in commercial porcupine farming, producing around 70% of global supply, followed by China, where demand is high in both culinary and traditional medicine sectors. Compared to traditional livestock, porcupine farming stands out for its low costs, low disease risk, easily sourced feed, and impressive adaptability to various climates. Right now, join us as we explore the world of porcupine farms, where humans are turning nature's sharpest defenses into a promising economic opportunity. To begin this journey, building a proper farming system is the essential first step. Porcupines have distinct behavioral traits. They are solitary or live in pairs, prefer quiet environments with low lighting, and are easily stressed by changes in their surroundings. During the day, they tend to stay hidden and only emerge to forage at night. Notably, their powerful digging ability allows them to escape easily if enclosures are not properly designed. That's why housing must be sturdy and tailored to their natural habits. Each porcupine requires about 2 to 3 square meters of space, with walls at least 80 centimeters high. The floor should be made of concrete or tiles, with a steel mesh underneath to prevent burrowing. The area should be well ventilated, protected from rain and sun, kept at a stable temperature between 22 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius, and shielded from strong light or loud noise. A well-designed enclosure not only ensures healthy growth but also improves reproductive performance, reduces disease risks, and maximizes product value. This forms the foundation for success in modern porcupine farming. Once housing is no longer an issue, the next key factor determining the success of this farming model is the selection of breeding stock. Breeding porcupines must be healthy, purebred, disease-free, and physically balanced, with evenly grown, glossy quills and no patchy hair loss. The selection process begins with determining the sex of the porcupines, a task that requires experience, as males and females look very similar, especially when young. Farmers gently flip the porcupine over and inspect its genital area to identify its gender, then mark it with paint for easier management during care. A healthy breeding pair can reproduce steadily for 6 to 7 years, providing a stable source of offspring with a high survival rate. In addition to selling porcupines for meat, many farms also profit from selling breeding stock, priced from $80 to $160 per animal, making it a promising additional income stream in today's porcupine farming industry. After selecting a healthy breeding pair, the male and female porcupines are placed in the same enclosure to begin the mating process. But here's a question you might not expect. How does a porcupine manage to mate with a back covered in sharp quills? That's where things get interesting. When the female is ready to mate, she flattens her quills, revealing a smooth area just below the tail. This allows the male to approach without injury. Before mating, the male gently taps the female's back with his front paws, a calming gesture that signals his intentions and ensures everything proceeds with full cooperation. The female porcupine remains pregnant for about 100 to 110 days, a relatively long period for rodents, as the babies are born nearly fully developed, equipped with soft quills and basic mobility. Each litter can contain up to 3 porcupets, but the mother is only capable of raising 1 or 2 effectively. When there are too many, the young may fight over milk, leading to injuries or weakness. To avoid this, caretakers often step in and leave just 1 or 2 babies with each mother. The remaining ones are transferred to other females with fewer offspring, ensuring that every porcupet receives proper care and nutrition. During the first few months of life, baby porcupines rely entirely on their mother's milk for growth. This is a critical stage that determines their immunity and overall development rate. Throughout this nursing period, the mother and her young are kept together in the same enclosure. Farmers must monitor them closely to ensure the babies are feeding properly, not being pushed aside, and have safe access to the mother's milk. The living space must be kept dry, clean, and draft-free to minimize the risk of illness. At around 2 months of age, the young begin developing hardened teeth and gradually transition to solid food. This is also the ideal time to wean them, moving them into a separate enclosure to begin the next phase of growth in the commercial farming cycle. After being weaned, young porcupines are moved to separate enclosures for continued care. At this stage, their diet shifts completely from mother's milk to solid food. Porcupines are easy to raise and not picky eaters. They can consume a wide variety of plant-based foods, ranging from vegetables, grasses, and leaves to sweet potatoes, cassava, pumpkins, and corn. In captivity, they can even eat leftover rice, bread, or food scraps. Thanks to this omnivorous nature, feeding porcupines is both simple and cost-effective. Farmers can make full use of agricultural byproducts and leftover food, reducing production costs while still ensuring healthy growth and timely weight gain for market. Notably, porcupines only need to be fed once a day, at night, when they're most active. This feeding routine aligns with their natural habits and helps farmers save considerable time and effort in daily care. Although porcupines are not picky eaters, they have relatively high standards when it comes to their living environment. A well-built, airy, and quiet enclosure is still not enough. The most critical factor is cleanliness. Porcupines are highly sensitive to dirty surroundings. If their enclosures are damp or accumulate waste and leftover food over time, they are prone to digestive issues, skin fungi, or external parasites. To prevent this, farmers must clean the enclosures daily, hosing down the floors and thoroughly removing all waste. In addition, porcupines are bathed regularly with clean water. This not only keeps them hygienic and reduces the risk of bacterial growth, but also helps cool their bodies, providing relaxation and reducing stress. On hot days, porcupines are often given short water soaks to help regulate body temperature, especially those with thick fur or undergoing molting. These practices are essential for maintaining their health and ensuring they stay in optimal condition throughout the commercial farming process. After at least 8 to 10 months of care, once a porcupine reaches a weight of 7 to 12 kilograms, it is ready for harvesting and sale. Commercial porcupines are typically sold to specialty restaurants, premium food processing facilities, or exported to markets with legal demand for farm-raised wildlife. Capturing porcupines requires skill and experience, as improper handling can lead to injuries for both the animal and the handler. Naturally, no one wants to approach a porcupine barehanded when its hundreds of sharp quills are raised in defense. At this stage, specialized metal or plastic cages become essential tools. Farmers gently place the cage into the enclosure, positioning the opening toward the porcupine. By carefully guiding the animal toward a corner, they leave it with no option but to walk into the cage on its own. Once secured inside, the porcupine is weighed and then placed into a transport sack before being delivered to restaurants or processing facilities. The porcupine processing begins with basic preliminary steps, similar to handling poultry such as chickens or ducks. First, all sharp quills are removed and the skin is thoroughly cleaned. The clean white carcass is then fire-seared to eliminate odors and firm up the meat. This step is essential to preserve the meat's natural sweetness, prevent any gaminess, and retain an appealing color during cooking. Next, the carcass is chopped into smaller pieces, ready to be used in a variety of dishes. Immediately upon arrival at the processing facility, workers use a specialized sharp knife to sever the carotid artery, or the artery at the back of the neck, allowing the crocodile to quickly stop breathing and bleed out while still under the effects of electric stunning or sedatives. Immediately after bleeding and washing are completed, the crocodile carcass is transferred to the skinning area, a highly critical stage handled by skilled workers, as it involves the most economically valuable part of the animal. Unlike mink skinning, which is done from the hind legs to peel the entire hide along the back, crocodile farms typically use the belly cut method. This technique preserves the soft, wide, and evenly toned belly scales, the most desirable section for high-end fashion products. Using fine, ultra-sharp surgical knives, workers carefully cut along the belly and gently separate the skin from the muscle tissue, taking great care not to leave scratches or tears. A flawless crocodile hide can measure between 40 to 60 inches in length and fetch anywhere from $300 to over $10,000 a piece, depending on its size and quality. Before entering the leather processing phase, the remaining crocodile carcass is moved to the meat butchering section. At this stage, the animal is securely positioned on a stainless steel cutting table, and skilled workers carefully separate the major muscle groups, including the tail, back, flanks, and neck, one section at a time. The tail, in particular, is highly prized, making up nearly 50% of the total marketable meat. It's considered the finest cut, known for its white, lean, protein-rich texture, and is often featured in local delicacies or served at upscale restaurants. One of the most crucial steps that determines up to 80% of a crocodile hide's commercial value is the initial preservation phase, designed to maintain its quality and prepare it for advanced tanning processes. After being thoroughly cleaned with high-pressure cold water and meticulously scraped to remove any remaining debris, fat, or connective tissue, the hide undergoes either dry salting or deep freezing at 18 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees, especially when the tannery is not located near the farm. This preservation method effectively halts biological decomposition, protects the natural grain pattern, and preserves the hide's structural integrity before it enters the high-end tanning and finishing stages. Finally, before being sent to the tannery, the hides are manually graded based on criteria such as size, thickness, belly scale uniformity, and the presence of flaws. Next, the high-quality crocodile hides enter the intensive tanning process, a series of carefully controlled steps that can take anywhere from between 5 and 21 days, requiring advanced techniques and strict oversight. The hides are first soaked in chemical or bioenzyme solutions to relax the collagen fiber structure. Then comes the actual tanning stage, where agents like chrome or natural tannins are infused into the leather to prevent biological decay, enhance durability, and improve water resistance. After the tanning process is complete, the crocodile hides move on to the shaving stage. With the aid of precision shaving machines, workers meticulously adjust each hide to a uniform thickness, typically between 0.8 and 1.2 millimeters, ensuring consistency across the entire surface. Next, the most experienced workers, with sharp eyes and steady hands, manually inspect and sort the hides. Only those that meet the highest standards, with clearly defined belly scales, a soft texture, and no visible defects, are selected to proceed to the final stages of dyeing and surface finishing. Depending on the specific demands of fashion brands, the crocodile leather may be dyed in a uniform color or treated with special effects such as ombre gradients, metallic finishes, marbled tones, or vintage-style patinas. This dyeing process is typically done either by hand or through semi-automated techniques, ensuring that each hide retains its natural grain texture while achieving flawless, vibrant coloration. After a long journey of patience and precision, the crocodile hide finally reaches the final stage, polishing and surface finishing, where its natural beauty is awakened and elevated into a pinnacle of luxury craftsmanship. The leather is passed through specialized equipment for pressing, buffing, waxing, or protective coating, depending on its intended use. Some workshops still apply traditional techniques, such as hand oiling or polishing with smooth stones, to achieve a finish that's both gently glossy and naturally supple. At last, each hide undergoes a final inspection, is sorted, and carefully packaged before being shipped to world-renowned fashion houses like Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or Prada, where it will be transformed into iconic fashion masterpieces, each worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.